Welcome to episode 7 of Open Process. All right, Sarah, what did you do this week?
This week, on the weekend, was the most active of my week. I had two robotics competitions back to back, two different places, and they lasted like the whole day. So quite a busy weekend.
All right. That's cool. So, actually, getting into that, is it two separate competitions or like with the same robot? Is it just your team competing twice?
Yeah, it's the same team competing in two different competitions, yes. And there was some conflicts on one of them, but I'll explain that later. What did you do this week, Tim?
Well, not so much this week, but I mean, this week as well. I'd like to talk about something I've been doing for quite a while now. Maybe I think like 5, 6 weeks maybe, but this week included, and I wanted to finally talk about it because it's something that seems relevant in my opinion. I've been doing online and now starting physical Arduino lessons, where essentially I've been learning a bunch of the ins and outs of some basic electronics, how to work with it, and use an app which I have to the side here. I could show that later. So what I've been doing with that is that I started, as part of the lessons, I started on Tinkercad. I think you may be familiar with the fact that Tinkercad has
Yes,
digital.
yes, yeah, I have used it, yeah.
Yeah. So I used that, I learned from it, we coded there, and then now I have an Arduino application on my computer, so I can code with a physical Arduino Uno that I have. Or actually, I have multiple, but I use mostly one of them.
That's pretty interesting because I've actually used an Arduino in my school in one of my classes, and that was like a lesson that we did for coding, and then we moved on to robot, like coding for the robot.
All right, cool. So, actually, wanted to ask about your competitions. What, okay, you said there was conflict. We'll get to that in a second, but you have two separate competitions, same robot. Tell me about the first one. What happened? Well,
So on Saturday, right, both competitions started early in the morning. Doors opened at 7. The competition started at 8. And then the other one, same thing. So the first competition was like a smaller one, more of like a easier one to like get into the competition stuff. And then the second one was like a higher up, more teams, bigger space, and obviously harder. So the first competition, like I said, it was easy. My team in qualifications, which is just like a set amount of games that you play to rank yourself between all the teams, and then you pick. So we went undefeated in that. We won every single match. We had 6 matches, and we won every single one. I'll show the scores on the screen. And then when alliance picking started, which is when like you're ranked, and then it goes from first, they pick a team, second, they pick a team. First team picked us. We were in second place because the reason we were in second place, even though we went flawless, and I don't think they did, was because win points. Win points is like if you win the match, you get 2, right?
uh-huh.
But in a match, first 15 seconds is the autonomous period, where it's the code
Yes.
running by itself, and then the next 1 minute and 45 seconds is the driver. So just like
Yeah.
whatever, anything can happen in that period. But the first 15 seconds, if you score a certain amount of blocks or do something, then you
Get
get
points?
one more win point.
All
So you
right.
could get a total of 3 per round, and that helps you in getting higher ranking. So win point, if I'm not mistaken, you have to score 7 blocks of your color into 3 goals, and also clear a loader.
Uh-huh. Oh,
So I'll
okay.
explain that with imagery, because like in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, I
yeah.
got it.
But there's like 4 loaders on the map. You have to clear
Mhm.
one of those and then score
Mhm.
into 3. There's long goals on each side of the field, and then there's
Mhm.
2 in the middle that are like crossed like this.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to score in 3 of those and 7 total. Like both robots could do that at the same time to get it. I don't believe we won a single win point, maybe one. That's why we were in second. The other team had a better coding autonomous, so they got those win points. They picked us, so we were like kind of set for the eliminations. We went flawless until the finals. So it was like pretty easy matches until the finals, where we were going against, we call it like our sister team, which is like a second team for our school. So like in the other episode, I said that was in 4 and 5 for R, but my previous team was 4 and 5 for S. So we went against them and their alliance. Their alliance was great. We paired with them the next competition. I'll explain that later. But eliminations went great until semifinals, right? There's this rule in like this game specifically that you cannot stay blocking the long goals or any goal for too long. You have like a 3 second period. And like if the ref sees it, it goes one, two, three, and then if you keep holding it, you're disqualified. Our teammate did that and they were going to disqualify them, but even if the other team scored all like the maximum amount of balls in that goal, we would have still won.
Hmm.
That's how much we won by. So they just gave us a warning. So if we do it next time, we'll get DQ'd. But we didn't get DQ'd in the moment, right? Now we go
Alright.
to finals where we're versus our sister team, and the opposing team, our sister team's alliance, does the same thing, right?
Okay.
Stays in the long goal, defending their blocks, so we can't score.
Okay.
We like the ref didn't see it in the moment when it happened, but we pointed it out at the end of the match when the match ended because everything happens so quickly. So if you could point it out, the ref has to look at something else and like everything else. The one thing is we cannot show video evidence, which is not very good when you're trying to prove a point because they're like, oh, I guess editing AI now and just like wouldn't really work.
I
But
don't think AI could make a video actually look like realistic that the robot is staying looking consistent because also it struggles with making it stay looking.
yeah,
I just don't think you could do that with
I don't
AI.
know how they expect people to edit on their phone in like 2 seconds. They're like, oh look, we edit but okay, we lost finals and we kept arguing that they stayed in there for like more than 3 seconds. They should be DQ'd and we should win. But like, no, reason's crazy, right? Our alliance has a blocker that's like so they have like an intake that goes up and then they have like a
Mhm.
flap up there that they could lock and they could use as a blocker or a pusher for the long goals. So they were just like
Uh-huh.
sitting at the end of one and holding their like flap so the balls couldn't get out. Right? However, in the finals, our sisters alliance team had one where it was like a thing that goes down like this from the side of their bot. So they have to go on the side of the goal and put it down in there. So it is harder
Uh-huh.
to take out. Like for our lines, they just drive back and then drive back in. But they had to like put it in there and then drive back and forth to like wiggle out the balls or wiggle out the thing.
Uh-huh.
So they didn't DQ them because apparently the ref gave them like a warning, like don't stay in there for too long or like move or like stop standing still and blocking. And they like moved back a couple inches and then went back in. But they stayed in the long. That conflict was crazy. We should have won that personally, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I could probably show video evidence, and you'll see. Maybe you can make your own decision on that. And
Yeah, yeah. All right.
also, there's a new rule I think this year where there's a thing called the judges meeting, right? Where like you're a co last year it was like the main people of your team go there and explain the robot. They ask you questions about the building process, the coding process, etc. And you have to answer honestly and like the most presentable you could be to try to get the award, the judges award. This year, the whole team has to go. So I did not know that. So in the first competition, we like played qualifications, and then I think towards the end of qualifications, we decided to do our judges meeting. So I was like, "Oh, okay, judges meeting." I told my teammates, my main teammates, like, "Good luck at the judges meeting." And then they come back like 2 minutes later and call the rest of our team to the judges meeting. I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, what? Like, I was like, low-key scared and nervous because I don't know what to say. And while we were walking there, they explained to me what to say, and I said it casually, and we somehow won the judges award. I don't know how, but we
All
did.
right.
Yeah. But then there's the another award, which is like the highest award you could get at any competition. It's called the Excellence Award, and that means you did, I think it's first place. You got first place in the competition, first place in skills, and then like another other factors like your code was really good and consistent, like your building was really good, like literally just
Yeah.
excellence. Like you were
Yeah.
excellent at the competition. And our sister team won that, but we had like a stronger notebook, we had like a stronger code, so we were expecting to win that, but they decided that. So like it's
Mhm.
whatever. That was not a very big competition, right? Comes the next day, bright early in the morning again, tired as hell, and second competition. Way bigger, there's way more teams, and we just like decide to lock in on this one, right? This time we had 8 qualification matches, so more than the last one because there's more teams. And the we did not go undefeated. We went 6-2. So we won six, lost two, which is still pretty good. Like it's not the worst. Our skills, however, was a bit bad. Like we did all our driving skills. Like for skills, you have six attempts, three driving and three autonomous.
Mhm.
So you could like run three driving, three autonomous, try to get as many points as possible, and then the highest of those you add up, and that's your skill score. So we did our three driving pretty early on because that's like quicker and easier to do. And then for the coding, we kept running our code, testing it on a separate field to make sure it's like perfect and we could get as many points. But for some reason, our brain was absolutely fried. And each time we started the code for the skills, it would turn off a second later. Like we would start it, it would drive an inch and just shut off. And that was only for skills, by the way. That wasn't even for the matches. That was literally just for skills. So we're
Oh,
like, this must be like a field issue. Like the computers at the field, they're like not, I don't know, something with our bot. And then when you would talk to like the main referee or the main guy of the whole competition, and he said, this has happened to no one else, so it's your robot. So we were like, well, we can't run skills, so I guess we lost on that. So we focused on matches completely. This competition, we did get to finals. So eliminations, we went flawless. And we got to finals. We were with the alliance that our sister team had in the previous competition. So we knew they were good because they won the last one. Their bot is a big box. So it
hmm.
could literally push people around. So we teamed up with them. We had like a strategy down like on the last match to like when we can who blocks the goals, like who parks and stuff like that. And we were against the two best teams in the competition. Like in the lines picking, top two, no, top three, right? The first one was the best one in the competition. The third one's the second best in the competition. So they picked each other. So that was like a very hard team up. And we went against them in finals. We like strategizing like crazy. We were do this. If they do this, do that. And we were like all over the place, but trying to get locked in. Everyone was nervous, even the parents. And there was a lot of people watching the last game since it's finals. And the other team was very strong, so we ended up losing the finals competition. I don't remember exactly what it's about, but it's a decent award, but it's like in the middle range of awards.
All right. Okay. Cool. I
So
mean,
very interesting weekend. We got second place on both, which was like we wanted to get first, obviously, but
it's good that you got second place.
yeah,
You got
yeah,
into the finals, so you
yeah.
know. Yeah. That's great. All right. Okay.
Do you have any questions about the game? Maybe that was confusing because I was just kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
not stating.
Oh, no, no, I got it so far. Yeah, pretty much most of it makes sense. I'm just thinking now, were there any interesting robot designs that you saw there? Anything that you hadn't seen before? Like interesting designs at either of the matches, either of the games?
Well, yeah, there was obviously like at the beginning of the year when we were prototyping with robots, we were trying to build like a robot that was like a kind of a big box that could hold as many blocks as possible and like filter them out. But we had an issue with figuring out how it would get those blocks out of the big tank, and it was very inconsistent. So we were like, scratch that, move on to this. In this competition, there's quite a bit of just like box bots. Some of them are like very powerful at pushing and defending, especially with like the D scoring. But not all of them were boxes. Some bots were like our bot had like an S intake, so it could hold up to like 9 blocks, I think, which is efficient because it like and it goes back to the front. Which
Okay.
is from prototyping, we found out that was not really efficient because especially in code or in skills, or in match, you when you collect the blocks from the loaders, you have to back up, turn around, and then drive forward again. But if we had the S intake, you just collect them and then drive straight back and put them into the.
Yeah,
So
all right.
that was more efficient. Not really a bunch of robots that like stood out, like but like the robot for like the second best team on the second competition, they had like a C intake, and their bot was very like tanky. Like it was very they had like a lot of metal, a lot of parts like squished into there. And it was very interesting because when, for example, color swords a thing, so there's like a color sensor that you could put on your robot, and if it detects a certain color, it could like manipulate the intake so it drops that color but keeps the color that you want. So if you're like on red team, you could put color sort out blue but keep in red. and it would do that. And their bot had that, but like when they intake, for example, a blue that they don't want, it like spat it out from the back with like a little flap that opened. It like opened, the blue came out and closed, which was I feel like
That's
that's like a waste of like air for like the pistons. But I mean, they did what they did. They
works.
made it efficient. They made it work. They won the competition. So like, I'm not saying anything bad about it. Yeah, that's about it for like robot designs.
All right. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah,
So you called it the brain. I'm assuming you're referring to the module which you put the code into that connects up to other
every
modules
other
like,
part. Yeah,
yeah.
it has like quite a bit of ports on like each side. I think it has like 10 ports on each side, 20 in total. That's where the motor goes. And on the side, they have 10 ports for like pistons for like the pistons for the air that like instantly move up and down.
Got it. All right.
What about you with
Yeah.
your Arduino? Yeah, I worked with Arduino before, so I'm interested in what you learned.
What did I learn? Okay, so to start with, of course, before I did this course, I didn't know much about how to generally work with electronics. Like I was interested, but I didn't know anything really, just
Mhm.
I abstractly. So through this, first I learned obviously what a resistor is, how do you connect up. Well, there's on Tinkercad there's something as basic as connect this 5-volt battery to this light bulb without it exploding. Good luck.
Yeah,
LED, but it's also light bulb, just a tiny one. So from there, then I continued and I got a physical kit, which now I'm gonna get out. So through the physical kit, let's see, here we have an Arduino Uno.
yeah,
I'm assuming you're quite familiar with this.
yeah. I've used
So
exactly that.
yeah, it's been really interesting just to learn about all the different parts and how to use them. Like that's been new to me. And through that, also I've been doing coding. I'll probably put it up somewhere on the screen that I'm using a coding platform. And my newest project, which I'm just starting now, is this thing. Yes, the wires are a little bit messy, don't question it.
That no, I'm not questioning. That happens to me too.
So it is a whack-a-mole game where each of the buttons connects up to an LED, and essentially the idea is that a random LED will come on, and you have to click the button that corresponds to it, like a whack-a-mole game,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
cool.
it will proceed to change. That's going to be complicated coding. I've just set this up, and I'm now working on the code to make a random LED, like just
Hmm.
a specific one. So that's been cool. And yeah, so what I've been learning is how to use the materials. Before this, I only barely knew what a breadboard or an Arduino is, so just learning about all of this all together,
Yeah,
and then through that, more and more complex coding. So now I can also like
you are
make
using the like Arduino coding app, right?
yes, correct.
Yeah.
I believe what is it called? Arduino IDE.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I used to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, I've also so the stuff I've done before, for example, is to have a series of LEDs and them have a single one of them turn on and go back and forth like that, like
Oh,
a little
like a
yeah, or
design.
two from each side and like bouncing back and forth, or have two going back and forth, two just one way, etc. So all
Yeah.
kind of stuff like that. So some LED games, I wouldn't call them
Coding,
games,
yeah. Just
visual
designs or
code.
like
Yeah,
show,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the kind of stuff I've done before, and now building on that, I'm working on this. Yeah, it's been
Cool, yeah.
interesting.
You said you were working this for like a couple months now, right?
Not a month, just not a couple months. I think
Oh,
just
wait.
around 1 month, a little under that. I think it's only been
Yeah.
like 5 lessons. So going through this like one lesson a week, it's going pretty good. I'm happy with it.
Mhm.
I know I'm roughly like two-thirds to a halfway through the course. But it's going to be more and more concentrated with more and more complex work from here on. So it's just getting into it for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, you
um.
could actually, like, I know I talked about a Raspberry Pi before, which is literally a computer that I can use, but with our Arduino, you could still do a lot. Like, for example, in my robotics, like, honors class, which is like a lower class than I am now, that was like the biggest thing I think we did with projects, and we like connected different parts, like a screen to it, and like
Mhm.
a ultrasonic sensor and we made like a car, the car backs up and it beeps when it gets to a certain distance. We made that with the Arduino and with coding, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
actually.
you could suggest to your teacher if you could do that. That'd
Yeah,
be cool.
I don't. You can do a lot with with an Arduino, yeah,
Yes.
especially with the kind of stuff you can connect up to it. I believe in here I have stuff like a water moisture sensor, like a soil moisture sensor. So if you
Oh,
put it in soil, it can measure how much moisture there is.
oh, that's
So in
cool.
theory, If you connect that to the Arduino and give it a power supply so it doesn't have to be connected to your computer, and obviously write the code for it, you could have it using a little motor trigger like something that so you could make a little watering device
You
for a
could
plant.
smart. You can make your farm smart.
Yeah. I probably would do that because my dad has a plant that he loves to take care of and has to water regularly. I'll probably test that out because I know
Yeah.
it might be in one of the projects, the sensor at least. So that'd be interesting to try out. Obviously, there's other stuff here like cameras and
Yeah.
ultrasonic sensors and I believe there, yeah, there's light sensors, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I could do a lot with this.
Sounds
And
like a very
even
big kit. I don't think I worked in that big kit yet.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here.
Oh,
Yeah, my mom was just knew she needed to buy me a kit, and within that kit there was one Arduino, but then it was cheaper to buy a pack with two Arduinos, and then of course apparently it's free shipping if you buy four Arduinos, so I
oh,
have
so she
four
just
now.
kept adding Arduinos.
Sure,
Are
I
they
mean
all
I don't
Arduino Unos? Are they all
yeah
like
Arduino Unos,
that
and of
means you
course
can make four projects, like four
exactly
different things. Yeah.
wonderful. Only one breadboard though, which is sad, but
Yeah. I
it's
think you
fine.
could split it up. Like you could just
Yeah, I
like
think yeah, I could split it, so that would make two breadboards. So yeah.
yeah. But then
Also
breadboards aren't that expensive.
eight
Oh,
bit
you can make a
display.
clock or like a stopwatch. I
Yeah,
think that's cool.
tons
I
of
did
options.
not have that in my
I believe there's actually even on here a digital clock, so you can connect that up to the Arduino, so that the Arduino always keeps track of what the time is, whether you have it on battery or not. So it always counts
yeah.
seconds. I could make a clock as well. Tons of
Oh,
stuff
I
I could
just
do
I
with
had an
this.
idea. Like when I've used an Arduino, the speaker makes the most annoying sound of all times. So imagine
Mhm.
if you connected you connected the clock, you made a clock, and at a certain time it turns on the speaker, and you have to
Yeah,
click a small button to turn it off, and like it's like somewhere on
uh,
your wall, and you have to like climb up to get it. It's just
wonderful.
so
Alarm
annoying.
clock works.
Yeah, that's cool. How long do you plan on doing these lessons for?
I believe these lessons will go on for roughly another month, maybe a little less, a little more. I'm not sure, but either way, even after that, I'll still have the kits.
You could
Definitely
do
will
whatever
continue.
you want with it, yes.
I'll definitely continue doing more stuff with this. Yeah, yeah.
Is this like, is this gonna be like your only project, or are you gonna have like a final project to the whole lesson thing?
I believe there will be a final project. This is my first proper project. From there, I think there'll be one or two more than this, and then yeah, I think one of those will be a final project. I don't know what it is. We'll find out.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
probably mention it on a
Did
later
does he
episode
give you
what
an
it is.
option, or does he just say this is your project, you're gonna do this?
I believe I'll have an option for the final one, so I may have it more customizable, more up to me, but the intermediate ones are to build up my knowledge, so they're set in stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but of course there's modifications I can make, like with the whack-a-mole, I can pick what colors the LEDs are.
Yeah,
Wow, so
wow.
creative.
That's so creative. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Actually, with the competitions, I
Hmm.
wanted to ask, how many, like, these competitions, is this building up a score or something? Like, I don't know. Is this building up some kind of towards a larger competition that you'll go to? Like, if you fail in these, can you not go somewhere? Or if you win in these, does that just give you expertise, or does that actually give you some kind of points that then go towards a larger competition where you're now allowed to play there?
Yeah,
Like,
great question. No to like collecting points for winning the competition, but in terms of like in the way you're asking, if you win the competition, you automatically qualify for states. And
uh-huh.
I think if you even get finalists, you qualify for states. And if you also get a certain award, you qualify for states. And then at states, if you win, you qualify for worlds. And if you get a certain award, you also qualify for worlds. Because that's what happened last year. Like the team I am in now, I wasn't in that team last year, but they won states, so they qualified for worlds. But then the team I was in, we won an award called the Amazed Award that qualified for worlds. So then we went to worlds as the two teams, so that was very good. But yeah, that's kind of a good idea. Like to win a competition, you get a certain amount of points, and it depends on the difficulty and the amount of teams you go to,
Yeah.
and like their
Right.
rankings in the whole system. That'd be much better because then like you could choose the competitions that are like have the most competitive teams, and then if you win
Yeah.
those, then you go up. But it's
Yeah.
pretty simple. Just like win competition, go to states. Win states, go to worlds. Yeah. So
That makes sense. I guess it's not overcomplicating it or adding too many point systems, because also you'd have to have a whole reason for the point and then multiple things that file into it. I get it. It's
Yeah.
could be helpful, maybe difficult. That's how it works. All right.
Yes.
Good to know. All right. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Speaking of that, I just realized, right, in New Zealand we just have nationals. We don't have states because no states.
Yeah.
We're like, I think in total surface area, it's like the exact same size as Colorado. So like one state.
Yeah. Wow.
New Zealand's small. I think I've repeated that like 5 times throughout these. We're small. It's just a
Yeah.
fact. Yeah.
But you still do a lot for being small. Like you have like the space
True.
stuff from the
We do have
other
space.
episode.
Yes, yes. It's small country does not mean boring country.
It does not.
Singapore exists.
Yep.
For example, Vatican City is pretty influential. Doesn't really have that big of a square mileage. I don't know. Just saying. Yeah, all right, got it.
I think that. Or do you have another question?
I don't have any questions.
I
Do you have
don't
any
either.
questions?
Yeah. Arduino. Good luck with your Arduino. I personally
Thank you.
think it's very fun. So
Yeah.
I want to see what you do. Hopefully, you do the farm thing with your dad's plan.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. Of course.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Yep. I think
Great
that's it.
episode. See ya.
See you in the next episode.